What's up, everybody? Chapter Kings, chapter 25. Let's just jump right into it. So, in the ninth year of Zedekiah's reign, on the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, marched against Jerusalem with his whole army. He encamped outside the city and built siege works all around it. The city was kept under siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. By the ninth day of the fourth month, the famine in the city had become so severe that there was no food for the people to eat. Then the city wall was broken through, and the whole army fled at night through the gate between the two walls near the king's garden, though the Babylonians were surrounding the city. They fled toward Araba, but the Babylonian army pursued the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho. And all his soldiers were separated from him and scattered, and he was captured. He was taken to the king of Babylon at Riblah, where he was where sentence was pronounced upon him. They killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes. Then they put out his eyes, bound him with bronze shackles, and took him to Babylon. On the 7th day of the 5th month, in the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, commander of the imperial guard, an official of the king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem. He set fire to the temple of the Lord, the royal palace, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Every important building he burned down. The whole Babylonian army, under the commander of the imperial guard, broke down the walls around Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan, the commander of the guard, carried into exile the people who remained in the city, along with the rest of the populace and those who had gone over to the king of Babylon. But the commander left behind some of the poorest people of the land to work the vineyards and the fields. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars, the movable stands, and the bronze sea that were at the temple of the Lord, and they carried the bronze to Babylon. They also took away the pots, shovels, wick trimmers, dishes, and all the bronze articles used in the temple service. The commander of the imperial guard took away the censers and sprinkling bowls, all that were made of pure gold or silver or bronze. The bronze from the two pillars, the sea, and the movable stands, which Solomon had made for the temple of the Lord, was more than could be weighed. Each pillar was 27 foot high. The bronze capital on the top of one pillar was 4.5 feet high and was decorated with a network of pomegranates. So 17, 4.5, it's 21 and a half, almost 22. Of bronze and pomegranates all around. The other pillar with its network was similar. The commander of the guard took the prisoners Sariah and the chief priest Zephaniah, the priest next in rank, and the 3 doorkeepers. Of those still in the city, he took the officer in charge of the fighting men and 5 royal advisors. He also took the secretary, who was chief officer in charge of conscripting the people of the land, and 60 of his men were found in the city. Nebuzaradan, commander, took them all and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah. There at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, the king had them executed. So Judah went into captivity away from her land. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, to be over the people he had left behind in Judah. When all the army officers and their men heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah governor, they came to Gedaliah at Mizpah, Ishmael, son of Nathaniel, Johan, son of Kareah, Sarah, son of Tuhumith, the Nephothite, Jazaniah, and the son of Machathite, and their men. Gedaliah took an oath to reassure them and their men. Do not be afraid of the Babylonian officials, he said. Settle down in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and it will go well with you. Gedaliah took an oath to reassure them and their men. That's interesting. In the 7th month, however, Ishmael, son of Nathaniah, the son of Elishama, who was of royal blood, came with 10 men and assassinated Gedaliah, and also the men of Judah and the Babylonians who were with him at Mizpah. At this, all the people from the least to the greatest, together with the army officers, fled to Egypt for fear of the Babylonians. In the 37th year of the exile of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, in the year of evil Merodach, became king of Babylon. He released Jehoiakim from prison on the 27th day of the 12th month. He spoke kindly to him and gave him a seat of honor, higher than any of those of the other kings who were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiakim put aside his prison clothes, and for the rest of his life ate regularly at the king's table, day by day. The king gave Jehoiakim a regular allowance as long as he lived. Interesting. Jehoiakim was a ousted king, if I remember right. Or was he a priest? Jehoiakim. Where you at, Jehoiakim? There we go. Okay, well, Jehoiakim, when he was made captive to Babylon, it fulfilled Jeremiah's prophecy. Wow. So, who was Jehoiakim himself? Okay. Yeah. During Jehoiakim's, but it's spelled differently. Maybe he had changed his name. Jehoiakim's reign, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, invaded the land of Jehoiakim, same spelling, Kim, became his vassal for 3 years. But then changed his mind and rebelled against Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, interesting, vassal. It's interesting that with the times that we're in here, after Joe Biden was inaugurated, and in my opinion, he was inaugurated through a very opposite of transparent. And over 1,000 poll watchers affidavits saying that things weren't right in 6 to 9 states, and New Mexico was one of them. I'm really proud of this state for that reason, because usually it's so Democrat and socialist, that kind of big government thinking, and this time New Mexico chose conservatism, and I think the Bible has a very strong adherence to being conservative. So, a type of conservatism. So Jehoiakim with the Chin. Let's see, because it's spelled different. Okay, so Jehoiakim, king of Judah. So there's a okay. So Jehoiakim, Chin, was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem for 3 months. His mother's name was Nehushta, daughter of Elna, and she was from Jerusalem. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father had done. At that time, the officers of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, advanced in Jerusalem and had laid siege to it. And Nebuchadnezzar himself came up to the city while his officers were besieging it. Jehoiakim, or Chin, king of Judah, his mother and attendants and nobles and all the officials surrendered to him. He took, in the 8th year, Nebuchadnezzar, takes Jehoiakim as prisoner, as the Lord declared. And Nebuchadnezzar removed all the treasures from the temple of the Lord. And that, wow, that is something else. That was chapter 24, so I had to find out who that was. So he was put into prison. Things changed. The next guy after Nebuchadnezzar receives him, puts him in his table, and provides for him for the rest of his life. Wow. Interesting. Think about it. God bless.